Hello students, how are you all? I hope you are fit as fit. We are back again on your favorite learning platform, Learn Forward by Feathercap. Today we are going to do our chapter 5, Maps Are Best Guides. So let's get started. Now, we have been studying about maps. We have studied about latitude, longitude, and we talked about maps in brief in the previous chapters. Now we are going to study about it. Now, Bela is standing outside in the morning. Let's see if you can answer the following question correctly. Now, what is on the east of Bela, west of Bela, north of Bela, and south of Bela? Now, do you know the Bela is facing the sun, right? The area now which faces the sun is the east, right? The area on the left is the north and on right is the west. So you just need to understand east, west, north, south. So this is so easy to understand. The place, no, the sun rises in the east. So if this is the sun side, then I am facing toward the east. My left is toward the north. My right is toward the south and my backside is toward the west. So it's so easy to recognize. So we've learned that area that surrounds our house is known as a neighborhood. Now our neighborhood starts as soon as we step out of it. तो हमारे घर पे के बाहर पैर रखते ही हमारा neighborhood start हो जाता है. Now there are many important places and landmarks in a neighborhood such as roads, schools, healthcare center, market, etc. In this chapter, we'll explore the process of mapping our neighborhood. Now we studied about neighborhood nicely. Now we are going to study how we are going to map a neighborhood. Mapping helps us visually represent the geographical features, landmarks, and important locations in our locality. Let's delve into the details of this chapter, including geographical features, sketching and maps, and developing maps of schools and village or locality. What is basically a geographical feature? Our neighborhood is not just a collection of buildings and streets, it's a home to many geographical features that contribute to the unique character. Now, it may include your natural elements like rivers, mountains, forests, parks, lakes. It may also include the information about the environment around us. And now, when we are studying the geographical features, then it is easy to mark it. For example, if a locality has a river, it may offer recreational activities like boating, fishing. If there are parks or forests nearby, we can enjoy our nature walk. We can observe the different plant and animal species. Now, these features also affect the climate and overall ecosystem of our neighborhood. Now, what are the facilities and services that a neighborhood provides? Our neighborhood, it has various facilities and services, which may include schools, healthcare center, market and community, which plays an important role. Let's study how. Schools are important educational institutions. They are educational institutions where we acquire knowledge and skills. तो जो भी है हम स्कूल जाते हैं बहुत कुछ सीखते हैं, चाहे वो अकेडमिक हो चाहे वो नॉन अकेडमिक हो, बहुत सारे skills सीखते हैं. By understanding the location and layout of schools in a neighborhood, we can easily access education and take advantage of learning opportunities. So by understanding this, we are able to understand the learning opportunities around us. Then if we talk of healthcare centers, now we may have a lot of healthcare emergencies which is basically catered by all the health centers because they provide us medical assistance, they ensure the well-being of individuals in the community, and if we know the location, then we can definitely reach that healthcare center immediately when required. Then let's come to the markets. Now, without markets, our life is not possible. Even how much we shop online now, it is very important to step in the market to buy those lovely goods and interact with the local vendors. And it gives us a lot of satisfaction also. Now, we may visit a lot of malls, but the satisfaction which we get out of stepping into the market is amazing, right? So we get fresh products to household items. By familiarizing ourselves with the location of markets, we can easily access the goods we need. Then let's come to the community centers. They are gathering places where we gather for social and cultural activities. Now we can do events, we can do workshops, we can do meetings. And participating in these activities, they strengthen the community bonds and foster the sense of belonging. Now, when we have community centers, when people go together, sit together, eat together, participate together, so it builds a strong relationship. Then crops and agriculture. Agriculture is an important aspect of a neighborhood as it provides food and contributes to the local economy. Understanding the types of crops grown in locality help us appreciate the agricultural practices and resources of the area. The types of crops grown can vary depending on the climate, soil conditions, and farming tradition. For example, if a neighborhood has fertile land, suitable climate, we may find crops of like rice, wheat, fruits, or vegetables being cultivated. By learning about the crops grown in a locality, we again get insights into the agricultural heritage and practices that sustains our community. Now, this again will be known to us if we know the area which we belong to and all the places nearby. Now, what do maps do? So, when we want to show only a part of the earth or want to give the details only about one continent or a country, then we need easy techniques and we use maps, right? So, if we talk of globe, a globe is a circular structure which rotates on the axis, right? It can show the ocean and continents in great detail. But if we want to know about a particular place in detail, we use maps. And maps are obviously easy to carry. So, however, it is not easy to draw maps on a round surface because it gives a distorted picture. And it's very difficult to make a true map on a curved surface because a round shape cannot be flattened completely. Now, I cannot draw a map on a round structure because there will be a lot of distortion, especially towards the poles. So, when we try to show the parts of the world on a flat surface, the shapes and sizes of the continent and oceans get distorted. Distortion is more around the poles. So, a map is a representation of Earth's surface as a whole or a part on plane surface drawn to some specific scale. So, map is what? A map is a representation of Earth's surface. Earth's surface ka representation as a whole or as a part. You can completely depict it or as a part on a plane surface, and we have a specific scale to it. So, let's repeat, what is a map? A map is a representation of the Earth's surface as a whole or a part of it drawn on a plane surface with regard to scale. Now, since earlier civilization, we have been using maps. The first map was made by Babylonians in 2300 BC on a clay tablet, right? The first map of the world map was prepared by Alexander. He was a Greek philosopher. Now, these days, if we talk of maps, the maximum amount of distortion at the poles are being made. So, we have talked that the maximum amount of distortion happens at the poles. Then, we find that maps are useful to us for various purposes. One map shows a small area and few facts. Another map may contain as many facts as a big book. When many maps are put together, it is an atlas. You must be carrying an atlas in your book, in your bag. What is an atlas? It's a collection of maps, right? So, maps provide us more information than a globe. They may be classified on different bases. For example, on the basis of scale or on the basis of function. Now, map can be classified on the basis of scale or on the basis of function. Let's understand. Scales के according, if we talk about the classification of map basis on the scale, we have small scale maps and large scale maps. If we talk about small scale map, जब बहुत बड़ा एरिया, आपने देखा ये है हमारा small scale map, बहुत बड़ा एरिया, large areas where like continents, countries with less details is to be shown, we use small scale maps, right? For example, atlas and wall maps are example of small scale map. कौन सा example है small scale map के? Atlas और wall map. जब large areas with less detail is to be depicted, we use small scale map. For example, 5 centimeter on map, जो map में 5 centimeter है, maybe 5,000 kilometer on ground. Small, if we talk about large areas with small details, then we talk of small scale map. Then if we talk of large scale maps, when small area like a village or town to be shown in detail on paper, then we use a large scale map. छोटी जगह को बड़े एरिया में दिखाना है तो हम लार्ज स्केल मैप यूज करेंगे. The layout maps of villages and the guides maps of cities are large scale map. For example, 5 centimeter on the map shows 500 meters on the map. आपने देखा था 5 सेंटीमीटर, यहाँ पे 5000 किलोमीटर है, यहाँ पे 5 सेंटीमीटर 500 मीटर के बराबर होता है on a scale, right? This was according to scale. If we divide it according to scale, small scale map, large scale map. Small scale map, large areas with less detail. Large scale map, small areas with large detail, right? According to function, we have physical map, we have political map, and then we have thematic map. फिजिकल मैप क्या होते हैं? फिजिकल मैप में आप फिजिकल फीचर्स दिखाते हैं, जैसे कहाँ माउंटेन है, कहाँ प्लेट्यू है, कहाँ प्लेन है, कहाँ रिवर है, कहाँ ओशन है. ये सब फिजिकल रिलीफ फीचर्स होते हैं जो रिलीफ फिजिकल मैप में दिखाए जाते हैं. बट हम अगर बात करते हैं पॉलिटिकल मैप्स में, तो उसमें बाउंड्रीज दिखाते हैं कंट्री की, states ki within the countries. They also show the location of cities and towns. So that is depicted in your political map. But if we talk of the thematic map, ठीक है, thematic map में क्या दिखाते हैं? We can show some specific information with the help of thematic map. For example, road maps, rainfall maps, maps showing distribution of forests, industries, mine, etc. तो ये सब हम थीमेटिक मैप से शो करते हैं। अब ये देखो, ये सब थीमेटिक मैप है। अगर हमें देखना है कि रोड मैप क्या है, रेनफॉल कितनी आती है, डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन क्या है फॉरेस्ट का, इंडस्ट्रीज कितनी है, माइंस कितनी है, तो सुटेबल टाइटल्स आर गिवन ऑन द बेसिस ऑफ इंफॉर्मेशन प्रोवाइडेड इन मैप। तो प्रॉपर टाइटल दिया होता है। आप देखो ना यहाँ पे टाइटल क्या है और यहाँ पे क्या डिपिक्ट कर रहा है। एवरी मैप, थीमेटिक मैप हैज अ टाइटल गिवन टू इट। नाउ दिस इज द डिविजन ऑफ मैप्स as per scale and division of map as per location. Now we have physical map, political map as per function. So as per function we have physical map, political map and thematic map. अब आ जाते हैं मैप के components क्या होते हैं, which we have touched base in the previous chapter. Let's dive into detail. What are the components of map? Three main components होते हैं मैप के। एक होता है distance, जो हम स्केल से रिप्रेजेंट करते हैं, एक होता है डायरेक्शन और एक होता है कन्वेंशन, साइंस एंड सिंबल। सो व्हाट आर द थ्री कंपोनेंट्स ऑफ मैप? आपका क्या क्या होता है? एक आपका होता है डिस्टेंस, राइट? डिस्टेंस के अलावा आपका क्या होता है, जो आप स्केल से नापते हैं। देन यू हैव डायरेक्शन। तो कंपोनेंट्स ऑफ मैप, डिस्टेंस, डायरेक्शन, राइट? एंड देन यू हैव conventional signs and signals, right? So you have conventional signs or symbols, which is very important in a map, right? We have conventional signs and symbols. This question will be definitely asked in exam also, right? What are the three components of map? D, D, C. Very easy to remember. Distance, direction and conventional signs and symbols. Let's dive into detail. Distance जैसे मैंने आपको बोला scale होगा उसमें. So you have seen the maps of different continents atlas, even a whole world on a small sheet of paper. How is it possible? It becomes possible by making a small distance, छोटा सा distance paper पे बना के represent by a large distance on the ground. So maps are drawings which reduce the entire world or a part on a sheet of paper, or we can say maps are drawn to reduce scales. But the reduction is done very carefully so that the distance between the different places remains accurate. So a scale is chosen. तो scale से ना जो maps का distance है to the distance on the ground is not disturbed, because why? Scale talks of the ratio between the actual distance on the ground and the actual distance shown on the map. जो ground पे distance है to the given distance on the map is depicted in a scale. For example, the distance between your school and your home is 10 kilometers. Suppose घर और आपका school में 10 kilometer का difference है. If you want to show 10 kilometers distance by 2 centimeter on a map, it means 1 centimeter on the map will represents 5 kilometer on the ground. 1 cm is equal to 5 km. So the scale is very important in any map. If you know the scale, you will be able to calculate the actual distance between any two places on the map. तो अगर एक्चुअल डिस्टेंस नापना है तो आप क्या यूज करोगे? स्केल यूज करोगे, राइट? Scale of a map is generally shown by graduated line, straight line of a particular length. तो स्केल को कैसे डिपिक्ट करते हैं? एक लाइन होती है, स्ट्रेट लाइन होता है. तो स्केल इज ड्रॉन, जनरली ड्रॉन एट द टॉप और बॉटम ऑफ द मैप. स्केल, ये जो स्केल होता है या तो आप टॉप में बनाते हो या बॉटम में बनाते हो. स्ट्रेट लाइन देखनी है आपको, ये आपकी स्केल है, ठीक है. अब समटाइम्स स्केल इज नॉट ड्रॉन, इट इज गिवन द वर्ड्स. फॉर एग्जांपल 1 सेंटीमीटर इक्वल टू 100 किलोमीटर, ऐसे भी होता है. अगर उन्होंने ये नहीं दिया तो वो लिख देंगे 1 सेंटीमीटर इक्वल टू 100 kilometer. This is again a scale, so it can be represented by a line like this, or it can be represented like this. This means that 1 centimeter on the map represents 100 kilometer on the ground, right? So हमने कहा अगर हमें component of maps को जानना है तो पहला है आपका पहला क्या है? Distance. Distance को कैसे जानेंगे? By using a scale, right? So it can also be found by using RF. What is RF? It is representative fraction. This is another map method of showing the scale on the map. In this method, the ratio between the map distance and the ground distance is given as a function. So क्या होगा? Ratio किसका है? Map distance. This is again important. It will be very important for your exam. So please write it. Map distance upon the ground distance. This is very very important. इसकी कोई यूनिट नहीं होती है, ठीक है. जैसे हम कोई भी कैलकुलेशंस करते हैं तो यूनिट होती है, इसकी कोई यूनिट नहीं होती है. तो मैप का डिस्टेंस, रेशियो ऑफ मैप डिस्टेंस टू ग्राउंड डिस्टेंस इज योर RF, रिप्रेजेंटेटिव फ्रैक्शन. तो इसमें जो न्यूमरेटर होता है ना वो हमेशा 1 होता है. So in this the numerator is 1, represents the map distance, and the denominator represents the ground distance. इसकी कोई यूनिट नहीं होती, जैसे किलोमीटर वगैरह कुछ नहीं होता. इट हैज अ यूनिवर्सल एप्लीकेशन इन मैप मेकिंग. तो हमने अभी दो चीजें पढ़ी कंपोनेंट ऑफ मैप में. कंपोनेंट ऑफ मैप में हमें डिस्टेंस फाइंड करना है. डिस्टेंस आपका मेन कंपोनेंट है जिसे हम स्केल से या रिप्रेजेंटेटिव फ्रैक्शन से निकाल लेते हैं. चलिए अब आते हैं डायरेक्शन पे, जो सेकंड कंपोनेंट है. व्हेन वी स्टडी अ मैप वी थ्रो एन एरो मार्क्ड विद लेटर एन. at the upper right hand corner. N कहाँ होता है? upper right corner में होता है. This arrow shows the north direction. N से north direction होता है और वो north line होती है. The direction of map or on the ground are always shown with respect to the north. If you know the north, then it is easy to find the other. अगर आपको north पता है ना तो आप निकाल लोगे, east west south भी निकाल लोगे. तो ये जो होते हैं north east west south, ये क्या होते हैं? जो हम न्यूज लिखते हैं ना NAWS, ये सारे कार्डिनल डायरेक्शन होते हैं, राइट. N for north, E for east, W for west, X for south, ये सारे हमारे कार्डिनल डायरेक्शंस होते हैं. अब हमें कैसे निकालनी है सारी डायरेक्शन? अगर हमने NEWS निकाल लिया तो उसमें हम इंटरमीडिएट डायरेक्शन भी निकाल सकते हैं, जैसे नॉर्थ ईस्ट, साउथ वेस्ट, नॉर्थ वेस्ट, ये निकाल सकते हैं. अब हम निकालते कैसे हैं? डायरेक्शन फाइंड करने के लिए एक तो हम मैग्नेटिक कंपास यूज करेंगे. मैग्नेटिक कंपास एक इंस्ट्रूमेंट है जो डायरेक्शन बताती है. इसमें एक मैग्नेटिक नीडल होती है जो हमेशा नॉर्थ साइन डायरेक्शन में अपने आप को अलाइन करती है, और इसको मेराइनस कंपास भी कहते हैं, बिकॉज मेराइनस इसे यूज करते थे डायरेक्शन फाइंड करने के लिए स्टार्टिंग में, राइट. अब उस अभी भी यूज करते हैं. then if you have to find a direction, so we use a magnetic compass. So two ways to find directions: use a magnetic compass. The second way is that you are, now you just imagine that the sun, or you're standing outside, and you know that sun rises in the east and sets in the west. So if we stand facing the sun in the morning, it means that we are facing toward the east. अगर यहाँ से सूरज निकल रहा है और मैं यहाँ खड़ी हूँ तो मैं किसको फेस कर रही हूँ? ईस्ट, राइट. एंड द वेस्ट इज टूवर्ड्स माय बैक, तो मैं अगर फेस करूँ यहाँ सन को तो मेरा सामने वाला डायरेक्शन क्या हो गया? मेरा ईस्ट हो गया, और मेरा बैक वाला डायरेक्शन क्या हो गया? वेस्ट हो गया. द लेफ्ट हैंड पॉइंट्स ओवर द नॉर्थ. अब मेरा लेफ्ट हैंड नॉर्थ हो गया और राइट हैंड मेरा साउथ हो गया. दिस इज व्हाट आई टोल्ड यू इन द बिगनिंग आल्सो. सो मेरे को डायरेक्शन निकालनी है तो मैं राइनस कंपास यूज करूँ, या फिर मैं ये वाला पॉलिसी यूज करूँ कि सन ईस्ट में राइज करता है. अगर मैं सन को फेस कर रही हूँ तो मैं मैं किसकी तरफ देख रही हूँ? ईस्ट की तरफ. मेरा बैक हो गया वेस्ट, लेफ्ट साइड मेरी जो लेफ्ट हैंड है वो नॉर्थ है और राइट हैंड जो है साउथ है. या सिमिलरली ऑन क्लाउड, अब जिस दिन क्लाउडलेस नाइट है, रात को बहुत क्लाउडी है, जो पोल स्टार होता है ना वो हमें नॉर्थ डायरेक्शन बताता है, और उसके अदर डायरेक्शन कैन बी इजीली फाउंड. क्लियर? सो दैट नाउ लेट्स कम टू कन्वेंशनल साइंस एंड सिंबल्स. तो हमने कहा मैप के कंपोनेंट में हमें तीन चीजें थी. एक आपका था आपका डिस्टेंस, जो आप स्केल और रिप्रेजेंटेटिव फ्रैक्शन से निकालते हो. दूसरा आपका डायरेक्शन था जो कंपास से या ना सन फेसिंग से निकाल लेते हो. तीसरा आपका कन्वेंशनल साइंस एंड सिंबल्स. सिंबल्स ये जो होते हैं ये आपको इन्फॉर्मेशन देते हैं ना. देखो आपको बहुत सारी इन्फॉर्मेशन चाहिए मैप में, जैसे पॉपुलेशन कितनी है, फिजिकल फीचर्स क्या है, नेचुरल वेजिटेशन क्या है, रोड्स, बिल्डिंग, वेल्स, बाउंड्री एक्सेट्रा, यहाँ पे क्या है. तो ये सब चीजें छोटी सी स्पेस में रिप्रेजेंट करना बहुत चैलेंजिंग होता है. इस करके हम ये कन्वेंशनल साइंस एंड सिंबल्स यूज करते हैं. ये जो साइंस एंड सिंबल्स हैं ये मैप पे क्लीनली और प्रॉपर्ली ना बने होते हैं, जिसकी वजह से मैप्स को रीड करना बहुत इजी होता है. even if you don't know the language of an area and therefore you cannot ask someone for direction, you can get the information of the map with the help of the symbols. पहले बहुत इजी होता था. जब बहुत पहले जब हम बाहर निकलते थे तो रोकते थे, कार का शीशा नीचे करते थे, बोलते भैया आप साइड, आप रास्ता बता देना, वेट. Now we don't need it. We just align ourselves to the map. We know the maps when you're going to a new location, and we can travel anywhere in the world by using the map. We don't need some guide to help us, right? So here, this sign and symbol makes our information very handy. So maps have a universal language that can be understood by all. There's an international agreement regarding the use of these symbols, and they are known as conventional symbols. Various colors are used for the same purpose. For example, generally blue color से क्या दिखाते हैं? Water bodies. Brown color से mountain दिखाते हैं. Yellow से plateau दिखाते हैं और green for plains. So ये साइंस सिंबल्स होते हैं जिससे हम अलग अलग फीचर्स मैप पे दिखा देते हैं, राइट. जैसे अभी हम देखते हैं, सपोज इंटरनेशनल बाउंड्री है तो ऐसे दिखाएंगे, स्टेट बाउंड्री ऐसे, डिस्ट्रिक्ट बाउंड्री ऐसे, मेटल रोड ऐसे. तो हम बड़ी क्लासेस में टोपोग्राफी पढ़ते हैं जिसमें इसको बहुत अच्छे से डाइव करते हैं. अनमेटल रोड ऐसे हैं, ब्रिज ऐसे है, डैम, देन वेल एंड टैंक, स्ट्रीम, देन रेलवे, फोर्ट, टेम्पल, चर्च लाइक दिस, मॉस्क, ग्रास, फॉरेस्ट, टाउन, विलेज, पोस्ट ऑफिस, टेलीग्राफ ऑफिस, पुलिस स्टेशन, कैपिटल सिटी, लाइट हाउस, सैंड एंड ग्रेव लाइक दिस, right? This is how we use the conventional science and symbol. This information shown on a map, which includes features like scale, direction, color, signs and symbols, can only be read and understood by those who know its language. तो ये वाले लैंग्वेज आपको साइंस एंड सिंबल तब समझ आएगा ना जब आपको पता है कि इसका ये सिंबल है. सो यू नीड टू नो इट. Now this is all about the three components of map. So I'll make you revise. The three components of map are what did we say? DDC, direction, distance, direction, and conventional signs and symbols. समझ आ गया? Now let's move to sketch. वी ड्रॉ द मैप ओनली अकॉर्डिंग टू स्केल। हमने देखा मैप को हम स्केल के अकॉर्डिंग बना रहे हैं, बट कई बार हमें एक रफ ड्राइंग चाहिए होती है एक प्लेस की टू फाइंड आउट इट लोकेशन विच इज मेनली बेस्ड ऑन मेमोरी एंड स्पॉट ऑब्जर्वेशन नॉट टू स्केल। तो कई बार हमें एक रफ ड्राइंग चाहिए होता है विच इज नॉट बेस्ड टू स्केल, सो वी ड्रॉ अ स्केच। व्हाट इज अ स्केच? A rough drawing of a place is known as sketch. Suppose Veena wants to go to Salma's house, but she doesn't know the way. उसको रास्ता ही नहीं पता है, तो सलमा एक रफ ड्राइंग बनाएगी कि मेरे घर का रास्ता है तो यहाँ से स्टार्ट करिए, यहाँ पे टेक अ टर्न एंड देन आप ऐसे आओगे, तो उसके बाद यू टेक अ टर्न, देखो यहाँ पे ये वाला सेक्शन मिलेगा, ये सेक्शन से यहाँ जाना है, और जो भी वो आपको बताएगी। तो एक रफ डायरेक्शन, सपोज मैंने को आपके घर आना है, तो आपने कहा भाई मैम आप मेरे घर के लिए स्ट्रेट आके राइट ले लीजिएगा, राइट पे आपको एक पोस्ट ऑफिस मिला, पोस्ट ऑफिस स्ट्रेट आ जाएगा, दैट रोड लीड्स टू द एंडिंग हाउस इज माई हाउस। एक रफ ड्रॉइंग जिसमें स्केल नहीं होता है, दैट इज अ स्केच। क्लियर? अब प्लान क्या होता है? कितने लोगों ने अभी रिसेंटली कोई घर मतलब शिफ्ट किया है? वाओ, द मेनी, राइट? जब आपने अपना घर शिफ्ट किया था, नए घर से पुराने घर गए थे और नया घर बन रहा था, तो आर्किटेक्ट ने क्या दिखाया था आपको? प्लान दिखाया था। वेरी गुड। ये जो प्लान था एक लेआउट प्लान था जिसमें आपके कमरों का मेजरमेंट था, राइट? इसमें आपके कमरों का मेजरमेंट था, इसमें पता था क्या चीज कहाँ पे प्लेस होगी, वो हम प्लान में दिखाते हैं। ये रफ ड्राइंग नहीं होती है, ये प्रॉपर ना डिसाइडेड ड्राइंग होती है। सो मैप हमें इंफॉर्मेशन देते हैं सब चीजों का, स्कूल हॉस्पिटल वगैरह का, बट कई मैप हमें कुछ इंफॉर्मेशन बिल्डिंग के अंदर की चाहिए होती है, तो हम प्लान के अकॉर्डिंग जाते हैं। तो प्लान एक ड्राइंग होती है स्मॉल एरिया की लार्ज स्केल में, स्मॉल एरिया की लार्ज स्केल में जो ड्राइंग होती है दैट इज अ प्लान। ये हमें डिटेल बता दी एक छोटी सी जगह की पूरी डिटेल। सपोज आपके घर आपने नए हाउस में शिफ्ट किया, इट विल बी यूजफुल टू हैव एक्यूरेट मैप ऑन द हाउस एंड दिस इज कॉल्ड योर लेआउट प्लान। So this layout plan will show the length and breadth of each room in your house, height of the windows, doors, etc. And such an accurate map of a very small area with minor details called a plan. So what is the difference? हमने कहा map is drawn as per scale. Sketch is a rough drawing which is not drawn as per scale. Now when we talk of a plan, what's the difference in a plan? It's a drawing of a small area on a large scale. राइट? सो इट एंड इट इज ऑलवेज ड्रॉन अकॉर्डिंग टू स्केल। तो आपका सिर्फ स्केच जो होता है वो स्केल के अकॉर्डिंग नहीं बनता है, बट इफ वी टॉक ऑफ ए मैप एंड इफ वी टॉक ऑफ अ लेआउट प्लान और a normal plan, we draw it as per scale. Generally a map represents a large area, so it is drawn on small scale, so 1 centimeter representing 100 kilometer on the other hand, but while a plan represents a very small area and it is therefore drawn on a large scale where 1 centimeter on a plan may represent 1 centimeter on or around, right? So this is very clear. Now let's come to how do I create a map of a neighborhood. अब अगर मेरे को अपनी बहुत इंटरेस्टिंग टास्क है, प्लीज नोट, प्लीज डू इट, राइट? टू क्रिएट अ मैप ऑफ अ नेबरहुड वी कैन स्टार्ट बाय स्केचिंग द बेसिक लेआउट। हमें हमारे मैप में क्या क्या चीजें हैं ना उसका बेसिक लेआउट बना लो, फिर आपकी की लोकेशन बना लो कि यहाँ पे स्कूल है, हेल्थ केयर सेंटर है, मार्केट है, पार्क है, और मैप में अप्रोप्रिएट सिंबल से मार्क कर दो। इसके अंदर आप ज्योग्राफिकल फीचर्स भी डाल सकते हो कि यहाँ पे रिवर है, यहाँ पे लेक है, यहाँ पे पार्क है, यहाँ पे माउंटेन है, और इसके लिए आप प्रॉपर फीचर्स से उसकी अंडरस्टैंडिंग के लिए मतलब सिंबल्स यूज कर लो। Mapping a neighborhood is used as sketches and maps is a valuable skill that helps us understand and navigate a locality effectively. अगर आपने अपना मैप बना लिया, please do it right away. You know, once you're done with the session, make a map and find out all the location. You know all the location. Just create a map. By incorporating these components like location, direction, scale, and symbols, we create comprehensive maps that accurately represent the layout and features of a neighborhood. Now, if we accurately draw this, then we'll be able to find out the complete route of a neighborhood. Now, let's put our mapping skills to use and create detailed map of our own neighborhood. Do it for sure, and you will find it very interesting. Now, this is something, a DIY tool for you to find the locations near you. The maps are of great use for us to the pilots and sailors. Maps are the greatest guide. They come to know about their position and near and far spread ocean respectively by looking at maps. We will never lose a way if we learn how to read the direction and maps correctly. तो हमें कुछ मिस नहीं करेंगे अगर हमें मैप रीडिंग आती है. Now let's understand the oldest known world map is Babylonian world map, and it is also known as Imajamundi. It dates back to 6th century BC and is preserved on a clay tablet. The ancient map depicts the world as a flat circular disk with Babylon in the center. It's fascinating to see how early civilizations conceptualized the world around them through maps even before the modern understanding of geography and cartography. What is cartography? The art of creating maps. That is known as cartography. So आपको मैप बनाना और रीड करना तो वो कार्टोग्राफी में कवर होता है. तो इमेजिन करो 6th सेंचुरी में, किस सेंचुरी में जी रहे हो, इतने पुराने सेंचुरी में भी अगर हम बैकडेटेड जाएं तो मैप्स का भी तब भी यूज होता था. Now, developing a map of the school and the village locality. Now, developing maps of specific areas within a neighborhood, such as a school and the village, allows us to dive deeper and understand the unique characteristics. By paying attention to the features and location within our school, we create a map that serves as a helpful guide for navigating the premises. Similarly, by mapping a village or locality, we gain a clearer picture to its structure, arrangement of building, overall organization of the community. तो ये समझ के we are delving deep into understanding which place we belong to. Developing this map not only enhances the spatial understanding but also owns our skills in observation, representation, and analysis. So let's grab our pencils and paper and start developing maps of a school, village, locality, unleashing a whole new perspective or immediate surrounding. Now, developing a map of a school, ये बहुत interesting है. You can do this right away. Our school is a significant part of our daily lives, and by creating a map, it can be both helpful and fun. So when developing a map of school, we need to pay attention to various features, like we need to include the building. कितनी बिल्डिंग है? ये प्राइमरी विंग है, ये प्री प्राइमरी है, ये सेकेंडरी है. फिर क्लासरूम बनाओगे, फिर प्लेग्राउंड बनाओगे, लाइब्रेरी कहाँ है, एडमिनिस्ट्रेटिव एरिया कहाँ है, और प्ले वाला प्लेसेस कहाँ है, स्कूल प्रीमाइसेस में कितनी जगह है आपके. By accurately representing these features on the map, we can actually navigate the school easily and understand the layout. Now, for example, this is a huge premises. You have complete acres of land for your school. Now, how do a fresher, how do a stranger steps in a layman's steps in? अगर वो उसका बाहर map लगा है, this is how you roam around, which you find in malls also, right? So if you have to go to a particular shop, you see the map and then you're directed properly. You do it for school. You would love that, right? So, for instance, if we identify the locations of different classrooms, library, cafeteria, and other essential areas, it helps us as a guide for student, teacher, and visitors, enabling them to find their way around school more efficiently. Now, developing a map of village locality, how can we do this? Just like a map of a school, we can make map of a village also. And how do we have to incorporate the key features and landmarks? It may be the roads, your houses, your shops, your community centers, parks, temples, etc. And by carefully observing and accurately representing these on the map, it helps us find the structure of a village or locality. It helps us understand the layout of a street, location of important building, and overall organization of the community. So it's very easy. Now it is fun. Once you're done with the exercise and you go back, or if you have a free period, sit down right away, make a map of your school or your locality, and you will find that it's really fun, noting all the information and utilizing all the information that you've grabbed in this chapter and doing it yourself, right? Let's come to assess yourself, take the correct answers, and atlas is a collection of maps. Maps are drawn according to scale. Then the thematic map shows the distribution of things. Then if we talk of the large scale map, हम क्या दिखाते हैं? large scale map में दिखाते हैं हम दिखाते हैं हम small area with minute detail. Then if we have to show compass, it is used to find the direction. Then to build a school, one would need, अभी मेरे को school बनाना है तो मेरे को क्या बनाना पड़ेगा? मेरे को sketch नहीं चलेगा, map नहीं चलेगा, मेरे को plan चलेगा, right? Then of the following the map, the smallest scale will be, सबसे smallest scale होगा एशिया, क्योंकि smallest scale हम क्या करते हैं? हम बड़ा जगह लेते हैं. We take a bigger place and with the minute details. Now, a sketch is always drawn according to the scale. No, it is not a sketch. It is a map. A small scale map shows a large area with less details. It is, yes, a small scale map, large area with less details. Then the main directions are known as cardinal points. Yes, right. Then compass helps us to measure the distance between. No, compass doesn't help us to measure the distance. It helps us to navigate a direction. ये गलत है, ठीक है? Our north line is always given at the right side of the map. True. Now, in a word map, the maximum distortion is at the poles. A dash is a drawing of small area on a small area on a large scale. That is a large scale map. A rough drawing drawn without a scale is known as a sketch. No particular units of measurement is used in RF, representative fraction. We use dash to make a map more intuitive. We use signs and symbols, conventional signs and symbols. Now, what is meant by scale? Scale is the ratio of the actual distance on the map to the actual distance on the map to the distance on the ground is given in a scale. Via symbol used in map, using the conventional sign and symbols, we are able to locate the particular locality in a neighborhood, which help us find the things like, we can talk about the rivers, we can talk about mountains, we can talk about passes, we can talk about green areas, we can talk about recreational areas, which is very easy because it is an international way of describing all these signs and symbols on a map. So if we are accustomed to understanding these signs and symbols, maybe for a metal road, for a highway, for a church, for a temple, for any place, then we are able to understand the maps easily. Where do we find maximum distortion on the map? So maximum distortion is on the poles. Then what does RF stand for? RF stands for representative fraction. Now next is, what is chief feature of a globe? A globe is always not tilted, it's circular, it is tilted on an axis and it can rotate. Then what are four principal directions? Four cardinal direction is north, east, west, south. Define a map. A map is a sketch or a layout which help us find the direction. It always has a scale to it. Then differentiate between a plan and a sketch. A plan and a sketch is different because a sketch is a rough layout of a particular place which doesn't have a scale. A plan is a proper layout which has a scale, and in this a small area is depicted with complete details, right? What are different types of map? We have studied different type of map as per scale and as per location. Now the different types of map are, if we study about different type of map, we have talked about as per scale it is large scale or small scale, but as per location it is thematic map, your political map and your physical map. Advantages of using signs and symbols on map. The advantage is that when we use the conventional signs and symbol, we are able to locate the particular place by having fine understanding of those symbols on the map, because that's an interventional way of finding all those places on the maps. Give a brief description of the components of a map. If we talk of the components of map, I told you these three things. What was it? DDC, distance, direction and conventional sign and symbol. We use the direction, we have to find the distance. तो distance कैसे निकाला था हमने? Distance कैसे निकाला था? By using scale, representative fraction. Then is direction. Direction निकालने के लिए हमने यूज किया था आपका कंपास और हमने यूज किया था sun facing वाला है. Then is your conventional sign and symbol. If we are accustomed to understand the conventional signs and symbols, then we can find out the places which we have to be on a map, like a metal road, like a highway, like a city, like a green area and something like that. What is the difference between large scale map and small scale map? मैंने आपको दिखाया था, in case we are talking of a large scale map, we are representing now what are we representing? We are representing a large scale map. We talked about area which is small represented on a large scale, right? But if you talk a small scale map, area which is large, which minute details is considered in a small scale map. Suggest any two method of finding direction. This we have covered here. If we have to find the direction, we can use a magnetic compass which always aligns us to north south direction. Then we can also use the sun facing methodology. If we are facing the sun, we are facing the east. Our back is towards the west. Our left side is towards the north. Our right side is towards the south. This is how we will find the direction. So this was all about the chapter. I hope you enjoyed learning it. Please do go back, make your respective maps, and happy learning. Thank you.